Okay, hello everybody, and happy Halloween. So today I'm going to make this bracelet here. I don't know the name of it, didn't give it a name. I just posted it on Facebook and Instagram, and I just called it some kind of modified sanctified. I'm sure somebody has done this before. Somebody has to have. Not the first to do it, so I'm not going to claim, first designer of it. But I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, there's a look on the wrist. Okay. So, on this one, where my blue and white is, that's going to be this black and white. The navy blue here on this one is going to be black. The gray in here on this one is going to be red. And the black on this one today I'm going to make is going to be the charcoal. So for the black, I'm using for a 2-strand double cow's hitch core and plus weaving strands. I'm using 10 feet. The red, I'm using 7 feet maybe. The charcoal, I am using I'd say 9 feet, maybe 8 feet, 9 feet at the most. And this black and white dot, I'm using about, I'd say 8 feet as well. I'm probably way over measuring. I didn't measure them the first time I made this one, so I'm just guessing. But I'll put down the actual measurements of what I use in the description. Now, let's see here. So, like I said, the black is going to do the 2-strand core, double cow's hitch, plus weaving strand. The 2 strands that are front and center, which is the background here, and the X that goes across it, are going to go through the 2 cow's hitches here at the top. And the one that's going to cross back and forth is going to go above the cow's hitches through all the connecting knots to your buckle. Alright, so let's begin. These 2 we can just throw up for the time being. Now it's going to be, of course, a modified sanctified. So we're going to begin the sanctified weave underneath through the center and out, and then this one up through the center and down through the loop on its own side. Same thing on the other side. That, of course, is the basic sanctified. Now, the thing I love about sanctifieds is in between these 2 knots, you can do anything down the center. So, what our very, very middle weave is going to be, which is your little background behind the X's, is basically just a chained endless falls. So the whole way down, you're just going to do the chained endless falls. Now I begin by going from outside in. So you're going to just weave it towards the center. And every time you make the knot with the center weave, you're going to basically be doing the same knot with the next weave from the center, which is going to be your X weave. Now when you go from the outside in towards the center, with this one you're going to cross it. So you're going to cross it and then go up through the towards the center, and then do the same thing with your other one. So it's kind of easy. Every time you go towards the center with one set of cords, you're going to do the same thing with the other set of cords. Just remember, when you're going in towards the center, you're going to be crossing those two. Okay, so I'll show you how it changes up on the next one. So you basically just tighten it up. Don't tighten it too tight right away. Just kind of slightly tighten them a little at a time, each knot, and finish with the X pattern as the last one that you tighten. Okay, so once I got them slightly snug, then we can go back around and do them real tight. And for that, I like to start with these cords here, and that kind of pushes the whole weave up. And then I go with the very center ones, which are underneath everything. So you want to tighten those first. If you tighten the X first, you may not be able to get the ones that are underneath it as snug. Then after that, pull this one, not so tight when you pull that very outside weave that crosses back and forth, because if you pull that too tight, that's when you can start getting the variation in width of your bracelet. Just, I don't know. I would say just don't pull it very tight. Just like, just maybe, it's hard to even, explain tightness of the weave. But anyways, you'll know what I'm saying, hopefully. Okay, so, and then the very last one to tighten, of course, is going to be your X, because it's on top of everything. Now, done with the first knot, throw those center cords back up. I'm going to go again, regular Sanctified. Now, this time, like I said, the very center weave, we're going to be doing that endless, chained endless falls. So last time we went down and up through the center. This time we're going to go down and then up to the outside of itself. Down into the outside of itself. Okay, and now for the cords that do the X pattern, we're just going to do the exact same thing as the center ones, just down and up to the outside of itself. No crossing on this one. down, and up to the outside of itself. Okay, so that knot is done. Okay. Now, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on this one. I'm going to start back at the beginning. Okay. Back to step one. Throw those center chords up. Going to do the regular Sanctified. Behind, up through the center and across. Behind, up through the center and across. These ones are going to go up through the center and down through the loop on its own side. Up through the center, down through the loop on its own side. Now let's start with the very center ones. I'm going to go down the center and then up towards the middle of itself, like so. I'm going to go down and up towards the middle of itself, the inside there, like that. Oops. There. Okay, now this one. Now remember, to make it look consistent, you want to, when you're about to do the part that's the X, you always want to start with the same side that you always do. You don't want the top chord that's crossing to be, going in a different direction. So I always start on the right side whenever I do a weave. So take the right one, and go across and up towards the inside of itself. This side, I'm going to go across, down, and up on the inside of itself. Sorry, my hands are getting in the way. But like so. Okay, now let me just tighten. Well, looks like I made a mistake, but here's what I did. I kind of crossed these two chords, the gray and the black. But that can be fixed. loosen them both up, then take one of them out and just reweave it. Make sure they don't get crossed this time. There we go. Okay. So, and now you can see what I mean by the same cord each time you go across. The same one is going the same direction it's laying on top. That way it looks a little more uniform. Okay, I'm going to work my way down towards the end and I'll catch up with you. Okay, so now I'm getting down towards the end. Show you the two sets of knots one last time. Alright, and take our center cords, throw them up, take the outside cords, go behind up to the center, behind up to the center, the next cords, behind up to the center, and down through the loop on its side. Other side, up to the center, and then down through the loop on its side. Okay. Go to the center cords, go down through the center and up to the inside of itself, down through the center, up to the inside of itself, and the next cord's out, go across, down, and back up to the inside of itself, crossed, down, back up to the inside of itself, and start tightening. Just a little bit at first, and we'll go back and pull it hard. Okay, then the next set of knots, throw those ones up, go underneath, behind, up to the center, crossed, behind, up to the center, crossed, behind, up to the center, down through the loop on its side, behind, up to the center, down through the loop on its side, then down through the center, this time up to the outside of itself, down through the center, up to the outside of itself, next cord's out, down, then up just to the outside of itself, other side is down and up to the or outside of itself. Okay. Oops. Sorry. I like my bracelets really tight. So, that's about it. Now, when you get down towards the end, maybe you can see it. This is what I like to do. Is the two cords going down the center, the X, and the background color. The background color, I like to go down through the very center and through this little loop that connects the two cow hitches. We'll just bring these two very middle cords, just go down through there. And then the X cords, on this one I put them down in the cow's hitches. I just stuck them down in the cow's hitches. And the other two cords on the outside, I just cut them off at the sides. This is kind of what it looked like on the back side. It's a little blob right there of the cords that I cut. But works for me. And anyways, this here is what the back side looks like. Front side. Okay. Well, again, have a happy, safe Halloween. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. See you next time. Alright, so here's our finished bracelet. For the cords, I had about 1 foot of extra cord on each one. So you just want to go by what I was saying earlier. Subtract a foot of each length I said. As for the bracelet, setting your jig, add 1 inch to your wrist size. So got a little bit of thickness to it, not too thick, but as you can see, it's a little something. I usually wear a 8-inch bracelet, set my jig to 9 inches. This thing fits nice and perfect. It's not loose at all, but it's not strangling my arm. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope I see some of you guys try it. Alright guys, see you next time.